Imagine this. It's the peak of winter. You're on the streets, homeless, with nothing but the clothes on your back. This is the harsh reality for some, and learning from their survival tactics could save your life. Welcome to the reality of survival. It's not a topic that's comfortable for everyone, but it's a critical conversation to have. Why? Because when the unexpected happens, being prepared can mean the difference between life and death. And who better to learn from than those who face this reality every day? The homeless. Living on the streets in the dead of winter is a brutal and unforgiving situation. But despite the harsh conditions, many homeless individuals manage to survive employing innovative and resourceful tactics. These strategies aren't just about getting by, they're about enduring and maintaining human dignity even in the most challenging circumstances. In today's video, we'll explore these survival tactics. We'll delve into how the homeless find shelter, conserve heat, secure food and water, maintain safety, and manage health and hygiene. We'll also discuss the importance of community and shared resources, and how these elements can be a model for preppers in building their own networks in times of need. There's a lesson in every hardship. As we navigate through these different survival strategies, we'll see how they aren't just applicable to the homeless, but also to anyone who might find themselves in a survival situation. Preppers in particular can glean valuable insights and knowledge to add to their survival toolkits. Remember, prepping isn't just about stockpiling goods. It's about acquiring the right skills and knowledge, and learning to adapt to any situation. And sometimes the best teachers are those who have experienced the harshest realities. It's a sobering thought, but survival isn't limited to the wilderness. It can also be right here, in the concrete jungle. So, let's delve into the lessons that the urban landscape and its most resilient inhabitants can teach us. Knowledge is power, and today we're gaining some powerful insights from those who know survival best. Stay tuned as we journey into the harshest reality of survival, living on the streets in winter. In a survival situation, shelter is the first priority. Let's see how the homeless utilize the urban environment to their advantage. When the winter chill sets in and the streets become a frozen wasteland, the first line of defense is finding shelter. The city, with its towering buildings and bustling crowds, may seem inhospitable, but it's teeming with potential havens if you know where to look. Homeless individuals, hardened by the unforgiving streets, have become adept at finding innovative ways to shield themselves from the elements. They often turn to urban structures that most of us would overlook. Abandoned buildings, underpasses, and even large dumpsters can provide a roof over their heads, a barrier against the wind, and a place to rest. But when these are not available, they resort to creating makeshift shelters. Using materials scavenged from the city's refuse, they construct tents from tarps, cardboard, and plastic sheeting. These may seem flimsy, but when properly set up and insulated, they can provide a surprising amount of warmth and protection. And then, there are the hidden corners of the city, the underground spaces that go unnoticed by the everyday passerby. Subway tunnels, sewers, and maintenance ducts can offer a respite from the icy winds above ground. These spaces, although not ideal, can be a lifesaver in extreme cold. As we explore these methods, it's essential to remember that a good shelter does more than protect you from the cold. It also offers a sense of security and a place to rest. Essential factors in maintaining your physical and mental well-being in a survival situation. Now you may be thinking, I'll never be homeless. Why should I care? Well, the truth is these skills aren't exclusive to the homeless. In an urban survival scenario, knowing how to identify and utilize these potential shelter spots could be the difference between life and death. Finding shelter is the first step to survival. Remember, your environment is full of potential shelters. You just need to know where to look. Staying warm is essential. Let's see how the homeless conserve heat using everyday materials. As the mercury dips, the struggle to stay warm intensifies. Homeless individuals, often left to fend for themselves in the biting cold, have developed some ingenious ways to conserve heat. These tactics, born out of necessity, can be a game changer when surviving in an urban winter scenario. Let's start with clothing. Layering is key. Wearing multiple layers of clothing creates air pockets which trap heat and offer a much-needed insulation against the cold. This is why you often see homeless individuals wearing several shirts, sweaters, and jackets, even if they seem oversized or mismatched. The goal here is warmth, not fashion. But what if clothing is scarce? That's where resourcefulness comes in. Newspapers become a cheap and surprisingly effective insulator when tucked inside clothing layers. The air between the pages acts as a barrier to the cold, much like the air pockets in layered clothing. Another common insulator found in urban environments is plastic bags. These can be used to line shoes or gloves, providing a waterproof barrier and helping to retain body heat. They can also be stuffed into clothing or used to wrap around the body, further enhancing heat conservation. Then there's the concept of shared warmth. Homeless individuals often huddle together or seek out crowded places to benefit from the collective body heat. This idea harks back to our primitive ancestors who would sleep huddled together for warmth. Lastly, let's talk about the power of hot beverages. A warm drink not only provides internal warmth, but holding onto a hot cup can also help to warm the hands. This is why soup kitchens and charities often serve hot tea or coffee during the winter months. These heat conservation tactics may seem basic, but in a survival scenario, they can be lifesavers. By making use of everyday materials and employing some creativity, one can significantly improve their chances of enduring the cold. In the cold, every bit of heat matters. These strategies could be the difference between life and death. Food and water are crucial for survival. Let's see how the homeless secure these necessities in the cold months. In the unforgiving winter, finding sustenance is a battle that requires creativity, tenacity, and resourcefulness. The homeless community often relies on public assistance and soup kitchens, but these resources may not always be available. So they resort to less conventional methods. Dumpster diving, for instance, is a common practice. While it may not sound appetizing, it's a matter of survival. They learn to identify safe to eat leftovers, untouched packaged food, and fruits or vegetables that are slightly overripe but still edible. Storing food can be another challenge. Some homeless individuals use insulated bags to keep perishables from spoiling. Others bury their food in the ground where the earth acts as a natural refrigerator, keeping items cool and away from pests. Water, on the other hand, is a bit more complicated. It's easy to underestimate the importance of water until you're living on the streets. Finding clean, drinkable water in an urban environment can be tricky. Water fountains in public parks, bathrooms, and even fire hydrants are common sources. However, not all water sources are safe. To avoid illness, it's essential to know how to purify water. Boiling is the most common method, but when a fire isn't an option, purifying tablets or portable water filters can be lifesavers. Preservation of food and water is also a concern. Freezing temperatures can turn a bottle of water into an ice block, rendering it undrinkable. Wrapping bottles in newspaper or cloth can provide some insulation, and burying them in snow can actually prevent freezing as the snow acts as an insulator. Securing food and water can be challenging, but it's not impossible. Creativity and resourcefulness are key. Remember, survival isn't just about enduring the harsh conditions, it's also about adapting and overcoming them. Safety is paramount in a survival situation. Let's explore personal safety tips from the streets. In the challenging environment of the streets, personal safety becomes a top priority. It's not just about staying warm and fed, it's also about staying safe from potential threats. Homeless individuals often develop strategies to minimize risk and maximize safety. One vital aspect of safety is staying out of harm's way. This can mean avoiding areas known for criminal activity or steering clear of dangerous situations. It's essential to be aware of one's surroundings and be ready to move at a moment's notice. It's about being vigilant, yet discreet. Keeping a low profile can often be the best defense against potential threats. But safety isn't just about avoiding danger. It's also about protecting one's belongings. On the streets, possessions can be scarce, and what you have may be all you have. Keeping personal items safe can be a challenge, and homeless individuals often devise innovative ways to secure their belongings. This may involve clever hiding places or even carrying important items on one's person at all times. Finally, navigating the complex social dynamics of the street is a crucial part of staying safe. The street has its own unwritten rules and hierarchies, and understanding these can be key to survival. It's about knowing when to stand your ground and when to walk away, when to seek help, and when to remain independent. It's about building alliances and avoiding conflicts. This is a delicate balancing act, and one that requires keen observation and social skills. The strategies employed by homeless individuals to stay safe on the streets are not only practical, they're ingenious. They demonstrate the remarkable adaptability and resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. For anyone finding themselves in a survival situation, these tactics can be invaluable. Staying safe is about more than just physical well-being. It's about protecting your belongings and navigating social dynamics. Health and hygiene are essential for survival. Let's see how the homeless manage this with limited resources. In the harsh reality of winter streets, maintaining health and hygiene can seem like an uphill battle. But the homeless community has found a way. They've developed strategies to keep clean and stay healthy despite their limited resources. We can certainly learn a thing or two from their perseverance and ingenuity. Personal hygiene, for instance, is both a matter of dignity and a crucial aspect of staying healthy. When access to showers or clean water is limited, homeless individuals often rely on public facilities like park bathrooms or community centers. They make use of wet wipes, hand sanitizer, and even homemade solutions to keep themselves clean. When it comes to dealing with common ailments, the homeless community has to think outside the box. They often rely on over-the-counter remedies for minor illnesses. For more serious health concerns, free clinics and emergency rooms become their last resort. They've learned to listen to their bodies to know when to seek help and when to rest and recover. Dental health, often overlooked, is vital. Toothaches can become debilitating if neglected. Many homeless individuals resort to DIY solutions for minor dental issues, like using clove oil for toothaches or baking soda as a makeshift toothpaste. But perhaps the most impressive thing is their resilience and resourcefulness in managing these challenges. They've learned to adapt, to make do with what they have, and to take care of themselves and each other. They've learned the importance of preventive care, of staying clean to avoid illness, of taking care of minor ailments before they become major problems. These lessons aren't just applicable to those living on the streets. They're valuable insights for anyone, especially survivalists. In a survival situation, you too may have to rely on limited resources. Understanding how to maintain your health and hygiene with what you have can make all the difference. Maintaining health and hygiene is challenging in a survival situation, but it's not impossible. Resilience and resourcefulness are key. Community can be a lifeline in a survival situation. Let's see how the homeless network for support and share resources. In the face of adversity, community becomes a beacon of hope. The homeless community is no different. They often form informal networks of support, sharing resources and information, watching each other's backs in the harsh realities of street life. It's not just about pooling physical resources, it's also about mutual support and shared wisdom. The homeless often have a unique understanding of their city's resources, knowing where to find free meals, safe places to sleep, and where to access medical aid. This knowledge is shared freely within their communities, with every member contributing to this collective wisdom. These networks are not only about survival, they provide a sense of belonging, a human connection that is crucial in the most challenging circumstances. In the face of dire survival situations, these connections can mean the difference between despair and hope. For preppers, these networks serve as a model. Building a community with shared resources and knowledge is a fundamental part of prepping. It's not enough to have a stockpile of food and a sturdy shelter. A support network can be just as valuable. Just like the homeless community, preppers can benefit from shared knowledge and resources. Knowing your neighbors, forming alliances, and pooling resources can make a significant difference when the chips are down. In addition to physical resources, sharing skills and knowledge is vital. Someone in your community may know how to purify water, another might be skilled at first aid, and yet another might be an expert at foraging for food. By sharing these skills, everyone benefits. And remember, community building is not just for times of crisis. It's about forming connections, supporting each other, and working together for a common goal. Even in the best of times, a strong community is a valuable asset. Community is not just about survival. It's about maintaining humanity and dignity under the most challenging circumstances. Today's exploration into how the homeless survive winter has been enlightening, to say the least. We've delved into the critical importance of finding shelter and conserving heat, using anything from urban structures to common everyday materials. We've shed light on the challenging task of securing food and water in the biting cold, and the essential practices for maintaining health and hygiene with limited resources. We've also underscored the paramount importance of personal safety and the complex social dynamics of surviving on the streets. Lastly, we've highlighted the role of community and shared resources in survival, a model that every prepper can learn from. These survival tactics are not just about enduring the brutal cold, they're about maintaining our humanity and dignity in the face of adversity. Remember, prepping is not just about the items you acquire, but also about the skills and knowledge you learn. Stay prepared, stay safe, and until next time, keep surviving.